Hey, Ben, one thing that I have to tell you, I know it's probably not your favorite topic. I know you can't do an interview without this coming up, but I will tell you, my kids, my children, my boys, I have a daughter who's 10 and a son's 9, 7, and 5, and my 9-year-old can be very sensitive at times.
Hey, you got busy.
Well, the oldest is adopted. She's Ethiopian, actually, speaking of Africa. Okay. But my oldest son, he's very sensitive, and he's like always concerned about being the new kid. We just moved from LA to Nashville, and he's, I don't want to I don't want to play baseball. I don't want to be the new kid. And I said to him one time, I said, what do you think is going to happen? I said, what are you nervous about? And we watch fights all the time together, and we rewatched the fight with Masvidal, and then I showed him interviews with you afterwards. I said, this kid is a killer. Look at all the things he's done. He had like what, some people might say was a very embarrassing situation, but look at how he handles it. And as a result of the way he handles it, I couldn't care less about that, and no one else does. They still think of Ben as like he's a legend. And I said, if this guy can overcome this, what do you think? You're going to show up at baseball and strike out? I think it's a great lesson in life, just the way that you've handled it like a champion. Listen, if you fight enough times, if you try at things, you're going to fail at times. And sometimes they're going to be worse than others, but should you not try? I just think you're a good example for people of how to be a good person, and it's something that Teddy talks about all the time. And I was so excited to have you on because there's, in fighting, there's some people are not so nice. There's some very good people, but I love having good people on the show. So I've been so excited to see you, and maybe just talk about how, like you said, it just happens, and you're like, whatever. I'm going home, and my kids still love me. My wife still likes me.
I also use that as a teachable moment. Like I said, my brother and I run 5 wrestling academies. And one of the biggest things people struggle with, kids especially, and most of the time it's their parents' fault because the parents don't know they don't know sports psych. But, right, a big moment's coming up. They've been wrestling all year, and they made the state tournament. And now all of a sudden, oh, my God, it's different, right? And they want to put all this pressure on themselves. And they want to put all this anxiety and stress and all these things that they make you compete like shit, And that's not how we compete our best. And so I always use myself now. I'm just like, guys, listen, it might go your way, it might not. I want you to show up and compete as hard as you can compete. And if you win, great. And if you don't, guess what? I'm going to coach you on Monday. I'm going to treat you like the same dude. And I'm just going to keep trying to get you better and better and better. And you guys literally can't have a more embarrassing experience than I have. Like, literally, that's it. Like, it doesn't get worse. That's the number one, You guys just show up and compete hard, and if something doesn't go your way, hey, we'll try to fix it on Monday.
Teachers are the most important people, or some of the most important people we have in this world. Teachers, wherever they're coming from the classroom as professors, classroom teachers, or they're coming as coaches, they're coming as parents, whatever. They're important. They're so important, and obviously. You're taking the role of that, and I admire that, and I just want to commend you for that.
I love it. Actually, I actually say Freddie Roach, and he taught me some boxing, but I think the most valuable thing that and I don't even know that he meant to at all, that he imparted on me was like just watching him on a daily basis, like how much he enjoyed being at his gym and just working boxing and doing his thing was like, he just loved it. Like, I'm sure he's got enough money where he doesn't need to really be there every single day. Like, he could show up twice a week or whatever, and it would be great. But he was there every single day, working hard, working with every single person. And so that kind of gave me my new goal after leaving California was like, I've done a lot of things, right? Podcasting, and I have great opportunities. But by age 40, I want to be doing nothing but coaching wrestling, and that's it. Because I find the most joy when I'm in there helping the kids. And, I've been able to take some other really great opportunities, but that was like just watching him do his thing and just having so much joy in it was awesome.
Well, what's that old saying that show me a man that's doing something that he loves, and I'll show you a man that doesn't work a day in his life, because it's not
absolutely right.
It's not work. And that's something that, to your point, and I'll just add this, that's something that people, they have goals, they're goal oriented, they're trying to identify what it is in life that is going to move them. And I think that's one of the things. Identify something you have a passion for. Identify something that you truly care about. And you, no matter what, you're you'll be in a good position if you do that. You'll be on the upside of that. And as long as we had brought up that, I got to just throw a question at you. The rematch with Masvidal and Usman, who do you like in that fight?
So I pushed back. I didn't really like that they made that rematch. And I don't really like Colby Covington, but I thought that was a rematch to me. That fight was 2 rounds apiece going into the 5th round, and Usman ended up finishing him in the 5th round, right? And obviously he was winning that round, so had it gone the distance, he would have won the fight. George and Usman was 50-43. Like it was not competitive. It was Usman won every round.
But in all fairness, he took the fight on 5 days notice. Masvidal.
Yeah. So I mean, here's the thing. If I said the day after the fight, Masvidal should have said that night, "Hey man, I only got 5 days notice. Give me a rematch right now." And he didn't really say that. Like he kind of said it a little bit quietly, but he should have demanded it. And now we're 10 months later, and he hasn't fought again, and he gets the rematch. Like, and again, I don't really like Colby, but Colby beat Tyron in between. And Masvidal beat nobody. So I would have given it to Colby if it was my choice. I think Masvidal's bigger draw probably is probably why they gave it to him. And I don't really see it going much differently than they did the first time.
Yes, to your point, George took it on 5 days notice, and you could argue is like doing right by the company. Colby is pretty much hated by everyone. He's the Jake Paul of the UFC. So it makes sense that the UFC would reward George with the rematch. We're big fans of Masvidal. We had him on the show, but that's not to take anything away from you. We love you as well.
You guys can love multiple people.
But I can understand the UFC giving Masvidal. That's a bigger fight. But I think a lot of people would also like to see Covington lose. You know, with George, there's like people probably 50-50 rooting for both sides.
Yeah, I mean, part of, and I would say part of Usman's problem is he hasn't really made himself all that marketable. And like, if he would be the good guy versus Colby the bad guy, I think that would really sell. But I think it's where people are like, shit, who do I cheer for in this one? Because neither one of these guys is all that likable.